Did you guys burn the popcorn?
Eric did.
Oh, Eric did?
No, except he never does anything.
Huh?
He didn't. He says he never does anything, so I don't know what that means.
I think I have to work a concession stand tomorrow night, so I'm going to try not to burn the popcorn.
Here's our food.
We have
Oh, they lied. Okay, we good to go, Paul?
Can you see?
My wife will let me know.
Okay, I'm going to call to order the October 21st, 2025 Lanesville Community School Board of Trustees meeting. The first order is Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of one nation, under God, indivisible.
Board members, you received the agenda in advance of tonight's meeting. You have had time to review, research, consider the matters to be voted on tonight. Board members, do you have any questions or concerns to be addressed before we proceed? If not, the third item is approval of the minutes from the September 16th, 2025 Finance and Board meeting.
Make a motion for the minutes from the September 16th Finance and Board meeting.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The fourth item is approval of claims for the month of October. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The next item is the principal's report.
It's working.
All right. So if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then what's the value of 1 minute video? Come on, mathematicians. Anybody? Anybody? Google says 1.8 million. So you all really don't want to hear me talk 1.8 million words. So we wanted to sum it up in that video. But that video is worth so much more to our students. And our first quarter this year, we really came together, teachers, as families and students, to just really celebrate learning. And it was just awesome to see all of the events come together, all of the new staff blend, and we're just really starting to make a difference. And it's just been a very positive start. In addition to the video, we also had 174 hours of after-school tutoring provided by our teachers. So we really are just going above and beyond for our kids. We've kicked off athletics, enrichments. We had our camps over fall break. We just finished checkpoint 1, and we're eager to watch our students just learn and grow to see how that progresses throughout the year. Special shout out to Samantha Steele and Sarah Smith for organizing all of that testing. With everything, there's just a huge learning curve. In addition to that, a special shout out to our staff because we adopted a new ELA curriculum, and it's been a huge learning curve for them too. So they've all put in extra time and effort to just make sure they're doing everything they can to help our kids. We're in the middle of field trip season, and we have so many parent volunteers that are making these things happen. And we just really look forward to next week, Red Ribbon Week, and our holiday parties. So we've got lots of great things happening this quarter as well. Thank you.
What was your testing that you did some time?
We did NWEA for our kindergarten first and second, and we've done checkpoint 1 for our 3rd through 6th, and then kindergarten just kicked off today. They're doing their dyslexia screener, and so we've each grade level will have had one test at least.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
No, thanks for the question.
Good evening. Here for the junior senior high school report. We are wrapping up our PSAT testing. It is testing season. We're in the middle of iLearn testing that has kept us really busy since fall break. I mean, it seems like getting to fall break takes a long time. And then once you get to fall break, it just kind of seems like everything flies by. And so we're in that quick pace there. I want to thank Sarah Smith, Candace Kalen, Robin Morgan on our side, the tech team, for helping make sure testing has been going smoothly. We had a couple things I want to talk about. I don't have a lot to speak on tonight, but we had one thing I do want to mention is IHSAA exemplary behavior report filed on behalf. I think some of that got shared out with some of us, but our volleyball team during sectionals against Christian Academy, not to get into the details, but basically an official had a little bit of a medical episode. Our team and acted very compassionately. They kind of surrounded, they kind of blocked the view so people couldn't see. We got nothing but compliments on how well our kids behave. And it's one of those things that I say all the time. It seems like it's redundant or I'm overdoing it, but I'm not even telling when I get up here for these reports, the amount of times that people compliment our children and our students at Lanesville. It is all the time. And I mean, that is all the time. We have some of the best kids. And I would put Lanesville kids up against any group of kids on planet Earth. And I mean that. So I, thank them for that. We have a fall sports recognition ceremony at our school happening during our homeroom time, a little bit before our homeroom time this week, this Friday. Great seasons this year. Juliana Kolkemeyer won the state title in cross country for the junior high, middle school level, I mean. So she beat out 456 other students in the state by like 8 seconds or something was the next closest time. So that's really exciting to kind of think about where we could be headed with that. Proud of all the other students that participated. Lucy Schneider, Olivia Spencer, Josie and Jayla Kolkmeyer, Kaylee Middleton, all did really great jobs. Basketball season is starting up. As I'm leaving the building, sometimes I hear, Kolkmeyer in there yelling or Carruthers in there yelling at the kids. Like I'm watching a little bit of the practice. They're working hard, so I'm excited to see where they go this season. As far as school-wide, we have RTI, our response to intervention, that we implemented this quarter. We've seen a lot fewer as compared to last year at this time, D's, F's, and I's. And so that's something that I'm hopeful we continue down that road. There is a long-term plan for that. Basically what it is, for those of you who don't remember, or know is that it's a time where teachers pull students in who are struggling academically, having a D and F, or need to do something, turn it in during that homeroom time. We are also starting out for kids that want to advocate for themselves. On Fridays, we're starting up our win time, what I need time. And so students are going to get to select on Fridays moving forward areas that they feel like they need help with. And so it's an opportunity for students to advocate for themselves where they want to go and what they want to do with their own education. If they need extra help from a win or from a RTI time, Friday is the day for that. Also want to thank everybody for thank the board and kind of make note of Marianne Blevins. She's been really helpful in the nurse's office, helping out both sides. So she's been helping Kristen Cantrell. She's mentioned that to me several times about how much she's appreciated having her to help. And for this first 9 weeks, it was really well done. I'm going to bring up Afka Garlock now to talk about a graduation celebration that took place at the end of last year during graduation between the senior class and the kindergartners. Question. I learned testing 7-8. Yeah,
7.
we're in the middle of it right now.
You're in the process.
We're in the middle of it. Yep, they're doing it right now.
They're doing it right now. How?
Math is next.
Okay.
Checkpoint 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do that twice a year?
3. Well, we're going to do it 3 times because we have 3 checkpoints. So we're going to be, and then a summative at the
Okay,
end. It's
you do
different
that.
this year.
First one now. January and?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Hello. So one of my favorite aspects of teaching at Lanesville and raising my children at Lanesville is that we are a K-12 community. And I know it causes a lot of headaches, especially scheduling and making sure our teachers are everywhere we have to be. And, library, art, music, juggling 375 kids. But it is really cool to see when our high schoolers can go and interact with our littles. And so my AP literature students this year for their graduation project, they had to create a capstone, memory token symbolizing their journey from kindergarten through their senior year. And it was very special for them and for me because I've had a lot of these kids for 4 or 5 years in a row. And so it was great to give them a time to just reflect. And they either had to craft their project or if they purchased it, they had to include something unique, maybe a handwritten letter or a typed up essay reflecting on why they chose this item, what was the significance of this item. And then at the end of the year, we had a little ceremony, and our kindergarten teachers were so good to just work with me and bring the kinders in right before graduation practice when the kids were all gowned up, and they got to each have a kindergartner, and we called up the kindergartner to the stage, and our senior kind of spoke some words as to what this object symbolizes and what their wish was for the kindergartner as they grew up in Lanesville. And then we took their picture, and those whose parents had authorized the use of their photos, I kind of made a poster, and we hung it up in my room to just show how fast 13 years goes by. Yeah. So, and it's our hope that these kiddos, as they grow up in Lanesville, will keep the memento, maybe pass it on themselves 13 years later, or make a new one. And my lit kids are already talking about how excited they are to continue this. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. We're in a very unique position that way.
That's great.
Okay, the next item is number 6, the superintendent's report.
Yeah, I'd like to start off with a little recognition of the Harrison County Community Foundation. Those that come to senior award night right before graduation, those people usually hear and see people from Harrison County Community Foundation. But just wanted to run through just in the calendar year 2025 how we have partnered with Harrison County Community Foundation on several projects. First off, the Centegix program that we are for safety in the midst of installing the hardwares here. We're going to go through training. Administrators are this Friday, and then we will train the rest of the staff shortly thereafter. But that is a significant contribution from the Harrison County Community Foundation. They're paying for the first year of service and all the installation on that. So we were able to move funds from our school safety grant, away from resource officer to we put the 3M film on all of our windows and doors to try to help safety there. We were able to do that because the county council picked up the resource officer, and we got to pick that back up moving forward. But trying to do a lot for safety. Another thing they've done, total this year we've utilized during 2025 $54,058.78 of Harrison County Community Foundation funding, $10,932.96 for dual credit. Those are our high school kids getting dual credit to help shorten the time that they have to go to college, and significantly helping them out financially because college is getting way out of hand. $24,951 for property maintenance, critical repairs of soccer bleachers, trash, concrete, pads, and spraying of athletic fields. $3,237.65 to help support the FFA program. $3,828.87 for miscellaneous support for our library, assemblies, those kinds of things. And then $11,108.30 for athletics, baseball and boys basketball, and volleyball jerseys came from that. So, they're kind of the unsung heroes financially of what we do around here. And when you look, $54,000 went a long way. We greatly appreciate the Harrison County Community Foundation for not just helping Lanesville, but the impact that they have across our entire community of Harrison County. A couple more financial things want to talk about during the first quarter of this year, and Miss Smith utilized a lot of it at the elementary. Miss Brown is putting PBIS into effect at the junior senior high school level, but we spent $129.28 on PBIS efforts. That's positive behavior intervention supports for our kids. We put a lot of money in kids that are struggling, kids that need those supports. We're also trying to focus a little bit, and you can tell hiring of somebody to work more with high ability, also with these PBIS efforts, really acknowledging the kids that are going above and beyond, the kids that are coming in every day and doing the right thing, that are working hard on the academics. It doesn't have to be the best student, but the students that try, students that help each other out, those kinds of things are what we're trying to acknowledge more and more and more. We put significant money in that pot, and we're starting to utilize that. Also, during quarter one, corporation spent $2,614.58 on tutoring services. That's something we talked about quite a bit last year. Really, a majority, if not all of that money, was at the elementary level. But that's a significant amount of money, and I appreciate those teachers taking advantage and working with kids. And hopefully, over the next few years, we'll really, really see the academic impact of that tutoring. But $2,600 during quarter one on tutoring is pretty significant. Neola policies that have been approved are going to start going up on board docs. It's been a process, and part of that is on me. My perception was then it went from Neola to board docs, then up on the website. Had some conversations and some people out, but I had to give it to board docs. And so we started. Once we got that hammered out, so those will start going up in November, and hopefully by the 1st of December be finished. We are, and here in a minute we'll talk about a tentative agreement with our Teachers Association, but we're also working hard on our non-certified positions currently, and hopefully in November we'll have something to present to the board to help those people out as well. If you came in, you noticed that work on the roof we were hoping it was going to be done before fall break was over, with some rain and some other things. It's almost finished, but some roof work is almost finished to be able to put solar panels on, so we don't have to take them off in a decade and put them back on. We went ahead and did that, and so that's really significant. Conversation with our insurance, corporate insurance, Once that roofing is done, we're going to let them know what that impact is, and then over the next few years, as we address the rest of the roof, and hopefully that will help us out some. Insurance wise, we are looking at a little over 17%, about 17.7% increase on insurance for the coming year. That was matched by a 13.6% increase this past year. So you're looking over the last 2 years about a 30% increase, which is better than most school corporations. I know some of our neighbors took an over 30% increase on their premiums last year. One of our neighbors to the north, the increase on their premium was more than we paid total for our premium last year. Insurance companies aren't really wanting to insure schools as much as they have in the past. Part of it's because we're lawsuit magnets, and those are very expensive. Buses are more and more expensive. Damage to roofs and that kind of stuff are pricing people out of that realm as well. But that's what we're looking at as far as insurance premium hike for next year. And then the last thing I've got, in the next few weeks, they'll be completely redoing the sound system in the gym. That's something that needs to be addressed as long as I've been here. Sometimes it works wonderful, sometimes it doesn't. We've got a lot of the parts in, waiting on the speakers now, and as soon as that's in, Mr. Hancock and Mr. Crawford are going to supervise that getting done, and hopefully it will be finished by basketball season. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to the PTSO report, we need to add number 24, which will be sub permanent. There's subs that's pending and background checks. Brooke McDaniel, Sophie Hill, McKenna Magner, and Sydney Stafford. So that'll be item number 24. Okay, next item is number 7, the PTSO report.
Well, we welcome back our teachers and staff from fall break with coffee and muffins in the lounges, both high school and elementary. We've also decided to do boograms again this year, so those got sent home and those will get returned and we'll send them out to all the students. We are going to be doing 2 different fundraisers in the coming weeks. This week we'll be sending out a Frost Buddy Cup fundraiser. I don't know if you've seen those before. They're like stainless steel cups and it'll have Lanesville Eagles on it. So we'll have those, and then we're going to do the Spirit Wear Shop again. And then we have the junior high dance coming up on November 8th. It's a Saturday this year. And then right now we've got our holiday shop crew working on the holiday shop, going shopping and getting things ready for that. We have right now.
When's the holiday shop?
It's the 15th through 17th
15th through 17th.
in the weight room. Yeah.
I can't wait. I just get excited. We used to do the Santa Super Sad. We made pancakes back there for years, and this place was crazy. I mean, so I'm kind of glad I don't have to do the pancakes part. That's okay. I'm all right with that. But it's a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, the next item is number 8, public comments related to agenda items only. Public participation policy will be in place. I did not see any on there. If anybody's got any. Okay, the next item is number 9, the approval of the 2026 LCSC budget.
Yeah, it's the exact same numbers that we went through the hearing at that presentation. Referendum fund, $500,000. Adopted tax levy, $604,839. We know that'll be cut down. Adopted tax rate is at 17 cents. That is the max for the referendum, as in the language. That will not be 17 cents. Every time we go through it, I cap it at 500,000 instead of taking the 17 cents. And so wherever it shakes out is where the state will put it. It's usually around 13 cents or so, 13 to 14 in that ballpark. Debt service, 757,000. Adopted tax levy, 788,473. Adopted tax rate, 22 cents. That's the same way. That's the debt that you have off of bonds. And you get what you get on that. But you can make sure that your rate's high enough that you get what you get. You have to pay it. So that money has to be there. Education fund, 8,169,290. That coming the way it does, not from local property taxes, has no levy and has no tax rate. One thing I didn't mention and was on my report, for enrollment this year, we stayed steady. Last year we had 733 students. This year was 731. And so that helps the education. We were looking a few weeks ago at 719, and several kids have come to us in the last, probably month. And so that really helps with some of the things that we're getting ready to do and talk about here in a little bit. And that's significant.
Was it October the 1st on that count?
Yes,
Was that
October
okay.
1. And that is significant. We've had back-to-back really low kindergarten classes of about 40, graduated some pretty large classes. And so in the middle, we're bringing in kids to offset that. Most people around us are losing, and significantly over the years. We're doing okay. And so just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. And then operations fund, and again, this is quite a bit larger than in years past. We've got some buses and a few other things that we need to take care of before local income tax gets cut out from us in 28, unless our county government wants to re-up that. But all that got cut immediately, and I don't foresee them taking that step. We'll get cut out of quite a bit of property tax dollars. And so there are a few things we need to make sure that we take care of now, new buses and a few other things. And so it's significantly higher this year, $3,406,940, with an advertised tax rate of 86 cents. It will be nowhere near that. That's one of those things that the state cuts you. You get what you get. But if you don't advertise high enough, you're not going to get what you're supposed to get. And so our total budget is advertised at $12,833,230. Adopted tax levy, $4,463,071. And the adopted tax rate, as advertised, is $1.25, essentially 1.2544. We know that tax rate is going to be nowhere near that. Traditionally, we're one of the 5 lowest in the state, somewhere between 50 and 55 cents. We'll be in that ballpark, I assume, again this upcoming year. And so you advertise this, but you get what you get from the state. But you got to make sure you advertise high enough. What I do need on this, though, whenever you vote here in a minute, at the end of the night, I need everybody's signature. And if you voted yes or no, or if you abstain, and then Ms. Stilger, I need your signature on it as well for an attestment. That is the proposed budget for your approval.
Could I have a motion and second to approve the 2026 LCSC budget?
I'll make the motion to approve the budget for 2026 for Lanesville Community School Corporation.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We'll sign that after the meeting. Okay, the next item is number 10, the LCSC tentative agreement meeting to discuss a tentative agreement between the Lanesville Education Association and Lanesville Community School Board of Trustees regarding a 2-year tentative contract agreement.
Yeah, and I'm going to go through some specifics with you guys. And then one thing I will ask, because then we have to meet again to officially adopt the agreement into a contract. I would like for you guys to look next Wednesday, potentially, for that time, 6 o'clock, if that's okay. I think we've got a really good contract, and I want to thank our teachers union, Lanesville Education Association. They worked really, really hard with us, myself and Mr. Lind and Ms. Rothrock, on coming together for a contract that we believe is mutually beneficial for the corporation as well as for the teachers. I know a lot of hours were put in by a lot of people, and at the end of the day, we got some really, really good people that we want to take care of, and at the same time be fiscally responsible for the school corporation. And I think both sides did a really, really good job on that, and just really, really pleased with our teachers and those of you that helped me out on it. Going through some things on it, 25-26 school year, which we've already started. So the way that this works is once it's approved, then we do what's called back pay. And so this contract, even though you do it over a quarter of the way through the year, it covers the entire year. And so salary then will get back paid for people. But what we're looking at is a $3,100 increase across the board. We've got to add some things. We'll get to that here in a minute, but that puts our starting salary at $47,000 and our very top salary at $80,200. Everybody will get a $1,200 home. Should everybody? There are a couple instances maybe where it wouldn't happen, but a majority of the times everybody gets also a $1,200 step increase. And so really that increase is more like $4,300 in year one for everybody across the board. And then year two, you're looking at a $2,000 increase across the board. That step is still in play. That puts us at $49,000 at the bottom, which is close to where we want to be. The state says we've got to be at least $45,000. Hopefully that next contract we can be above $50,000. And then $82,200 at the very top. One thing that the state said that we had to do is have a significant and meaningful addition to the contract, not a stipend, but a base raise for people with a literacy endorsement. And so that is worked in as well, and we're settling on $200 on that for everybody. One thing that we've decided to do, and really the teachers brought this, and it's a very, very good idea. And a couple of you sitting on the board have been teachers in the past. And what happens is you get to the top of the pay scale and you get the raise, but you don't get the step. Everybody else gets the step. And so everybody else might get $3,000 raise and you might get a $1,800 raise. But yet you're the person that's been here the longest. You've stuck with the corporation. Your longevity should be rewarded. So we're going to give a stipend, that same $1,200 stipend to anybody that's at the top of the pay scale. And you know, the teachers union brought that, and that's a wonderful idea, and I appreciate that from them. Another stipend that we're going to give is a $500 stipend for anybody who is duly credited certified. And those are high school level teachers. State of Indiana has kicked the can down the road for over a decade now. They're not going to give just the dual credit anymore. You have to have certain certification, go through some steps. Ms. Garlock has done that. It's not easy. It's not like just getting a regular master's degree and something else. You have to do it in your content area or have another 18 hours on top of whatever master's degree you have. We want to make sure that those people that have done that get rewarded, because if we can't offer that, the people that suffer are our kids. And so if we've got kids, you know, at Lanesville through our AP courses, dual credit courses, and through Prosser, they will graduate with 30 plus credit hours. We had a young lady a couple years ago, because she took advantage of Ivy Tech in the summertime, graduated with, I think, just shy of 70. We want to make sure that we can continue to do that. And so that's important that we have that for those high school teachers. Another area that we looked at was insurance, health insurance. We had a very good year with our health insurance and our insurance trust. The old system, the old contract stipulated that anything from a 0.1% rate increase to an 8% rate increase would be the corporation picking up 60% and the teachers picking up 40%. looking at the numbers, and we looked really, really hard at this. We thought, you know what, if it's between 0 and 3, and we've got some teachers that have done a lot of good over the last few years. Some of the programs that we've brought in the trust initially only really work with those that are closer to the Bloomington, Indy area. They eventually funnel their way down. But knowing that our teachers initially don't get some of those rewards, but they went along because it helps keep the rates manageable, give a little reward for that. And so, what we proposed was anything from a 0 to 3%. The corporation would pick up 100% of that rate increase. 3.1 to 8%. The teachers would go to that 60-40 that we had. And then the teachers worked really well with us. And our goal is to always keep it between 3 and 7. Good year, 2.5 to 3. A bad year, no more than 7. But we know some of our neighbors are looking at double-digit increases. But anything between 8 or 8.1 and 10, we'll split 50-50. And if we hit 10, if we hit double digits, we need to open up our contract and figure out how we might maneuver some things around to help. And so they were great partners on that. A couple benefits that we need to discuss. Teachers are going to be able to come in an extra day during the summer to work on what they need to work on because there's never enough time. We're going to pay them that daily stipend of $150. What they've agreed to do, though, is to make sure that they're here 6 hours and they give a detailed report of what they were going to be working on that day. And that way it's not just, somebody says, hey, I was here on Monday, I need $150. But I think that was a good idea. That was something the teachers brought, and I think it's well needed because there's never enough time, and we want to reward them for that time. One thing we're going to pick up, vision and dental insurance. We've never picked it up. We've offered it, but never picked up any of the cost on it. For the employee, we're going to pick up 50% of that vision and dental. For the corporation and for the teacher, I think that's a win-win. Life insurance, we've had $50,000 policies on our teachers in the past. You never know. You never hope to have to use it. One thing that was important to them was upping that to $100,000. We talked through the tax implications. Everybody was in agreement. And that's where we decided to go. And so that's going to be up from $50,000 to $100,000 on those policies. Parental leave is something that was addressed. We're going to give 5 extra days of parental leave. It was at 3 days. That's going up to 8 days. And I think, for those of us that are old like me, you have a ton of days built up. Sometimes for young parents, and I was a young parent as a teacher, you may not have as many days built up. And so that will really help some of those. And it's not just the birthing process, and it's not just mothers, it's parental leave, and that includes adoption as well. And so I think that would be great for our people. One thing that we addressed, we started a 401A last year for our teachers. We take 33% of all the interest that's accumulated over the calendar year. And what we did in the past is we put 1% of that towards the 401A, and the rest was a stipend that went to the teachers. The teachers wanted that 1/3 instead of being 1% in the stipend. Take that entire 1/3 and put it towards 401A. And I think that is a very smart idea. You burn through that stipend pretty quickly. But that extra money going into that 401A will build interest year after year after year. And as everything gets more and more expensive, retirement seems like it's further and farther away. And I think that's a real smart thing for the teachers. And I applaud them for wanting to take that money and instead of getting a stipend that's burned through quickly, putting it towards retirement to hopefully set themselves up for the years after work. And I thought that was really, really smart on their part. Another area that we're addressing in past contracts, we've had an attendance bonus for $250. Anybody that missed 5 days or less were awarded that bonus. Wanted to up that a little bit. And so we got that to $500. for anybody that misses 5 days or less. Anybody that doesn't miss any days. And 2 years ago, we had 2 people to miss any days. Give them $1,000 stipend because we know the impact of a teacher is tremendous on the education of our students. And I, like so many of us, have students in this corporation, and they have wonderful teachers. And if they're here every day, and then sometimes it doesn't happen. I've been there too, but we want to reward those people. Then the next thing we looked at was ECA. We didn't address ECA extracurricular last time, so we did this time. What we proposed was a 10% increase across the board on all ECAs, with the exception of varsity coaches. It's getting harder and harder to find varsity coaches, and our pay was not competitive. And so varsity coaches, we would like to move to 15% instead of the 10. Another thing that we did is we didn't have any off-season pay for those varsity and JV coaches. Most corporations do. And so we wanted to make sure that they were rewarded, because there are some coaches that we lost out on because we did not. And so 20% of their pay they can earn during off season as well. Now, they will have to show that they're actually working during that time. That's not a given, but they all do. And cheerleaders are included on that because they work their tail end off as well. A couple things that we upped. Now, when I say we upped it, we're upping it now, and then the 10% will be added on to that. Academic bowl coordinator, move that to $1,000. That was grossly underpaid. Robotics, that is something that Mr. Kramer can attest to. We have a ton of kids that are interested in robotics. They're moving from the robotics club to competitions. And we now are going to have elementary and middle. We are anticipating and looking to move that to high school as well. And so we're looking at 3 different positions for that and putting that at $1,000. And then the 10% will go on top of that whenever that works out as well. But that's another way. Not everybody is athletic. Some kids are athletic and love technology, but it's a wonderful way, both the academic bowls and robotics, to get more kids involved. And we all know that the more kids involved, the better that they're going to be. Another thing that we are looking to add is an elementary yearbook position. We've always had a high school yearbook position. We've always had 2 yearbooks. The elementary never got paid, and they put together a heck of a yearbook for free, and that's just kind of not right. And so we're adding that elementary yearbook position as well. And then looking at adding some ECAs besides the ones I just mentioned. Middle school wrestling. We looked at putting the average of the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade basketball, $1,612.50. The 10% will be tacked onto that. High school varsity wrestling. Won't have one this year. Potentially have that next year. We want to make sure we get that in the contract. $3,480 as the pay. 10% will be added on to that, or the 15%. But that's the same as the soccer. The seasons are about the same length. High school assistant wrestling coach, again, the same as the assistant soccer coach. $1,850, and then the 10% will be added on to that. And then elementary volleyball. We've started elementary volleyball, 5th and 6th grade, comparable to 5th and 6th grade basketball. And so that comes in at $1,360, and then the 10% will be added on to that. Really, really good work. Really hard work. I think this contract is very, very fair to both sides. Everybody worked together to help move Lanesville Community School Corporation forward. And those are the details. Everything else in the contract will stay the same. These are the areas that were moved and adjusted. All the other language from the previous contract, most of it will stay the same. There are a few areas, pull up the other form here, that need to be addressed. just some language that needs to be worked on. A couple of those things. We had on paid leave where it said injury or maternity. That causes some issues, so we're working just the language on that. You'll have that on the next time around. And that's really about it on that. Ms. Garlock, is there anything that you can think of that I'm missing? That's the maternity. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. And so you guys we'll run through those last few things. But again, Ms. Garlock and Ms. Shiger, from a different perspective this time. She's doing an internship with the ISTA, but both of them and their team worked exceptionally hard, and the corporation did. And I want to thank Ms. Simler and Mr. Crawhorn as well. They went through all of this, and so I think it's a really good contract. I'm really real proud of it, and I think it rewards our people. It helps put us in a position to be the leading school corporation in Southern Indiana.
So we're looking at voting on that Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Is that,
Yes,
okay. Okay.
and we will. Then we'll have to post again. But you got to wait 72 hours, and there's some legalities. That's why you can't do it now. You have to have the hearing, like we did here. Wait 72 hours at minimum. But I think next Wednesday is our best, just in case something takes a day to get published wrong or whatever. I think that's our best bet.
All right. Thank you. Next item is discussion of HVAC service agreement.
Yep. I want to get this ball rolling. Over the next few months, going to bring in some companies. Our contract with Train is ending. They've been doing the controls, the heating, and the air for us. There have been some significant issues. Part of it, just the system they weren't really compatible with. We've opened up those bids. We're going to, over the next few months, bring some people in. What'll end up happening, because that contract ends at the end of this month, so we will pay just for the service moving forward over the next few months until we get this settled. But it's better to do it that way than to rush it. We've had a lot of conversation with a lot of people over the last 6 months, just trying to narrow it down to get as close as we can. A lot of people don't want the controls. We got one company that wants it all. Some want bits and pieces. It's a lot more intensive than I realized. A lot more intensive than calling the guy to come to your house. So we will start bringing people in to talk with you guys here in an open meeting, to give you a rundown of their proposal. That way you guys have the information. That way the public has the information. And we will move from there. But just know that over the next few months, if we have any issues, we'll pay a little bit more on the premium, but it's better than rushing into something that we don't want to rush into.
How long was the train contract for?
3 years. Yeah, Mr. Morris, I think, re-upped it right before was the last one.
Dr. Apple, is it set up as a base retainage and then an hourly rate depending on the service call?
I mean, between now and when we settle,
The contract, how it's going to be billed, it'll be a base retainage fee and then they'll bill us for each.
between now and the new contract awarded, or what we're looking at.
We're looking.
It's across the board. Some offer new compressors, and some seem extremely low, but I want them to sell, and some are a lot higher. It's not comparing apples to apples.
It's not an ongoing maintenance contract. It's coming in and upgrading our system.
Depends on who you go with.
Okay.
Some will keep the train controls. Some will want new controls. Some, again, it could be working on all three.
Is it going to be high enough to meet the bidding threshold?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. It'll blow it out of the water. So just want to make sure that everybody's got that because again, it's not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot of conversation, what we need, what's important. Do we want to bid all three components out to different people? There are some that they don't need the controls. They'll just work on the boilers. Some will work on the chillers and the boilers. Some just want, the control. It's a mess.
Who's writing the specs? You or you got somebody coming in? How are we gonna know what to write specs for when I'm a banker and he's a retired teacher? We're looking at our entire HVA system.
We've got,
We have to advertise bids and everything.
well, we'll look at the bids and what comes in. We know the issues that we've had. We know, and really what we're looking at are the controls, the boilers and the chillers. As far as the specs go, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking.
Well, if it's over $300,000 for Public School Corporation, you have to put it out for public bid for anybody to look at it. And prior to that, you have to write what you are looking for.
I thought you meant the specs on the equipment.
Oh no!
So
no.
the way that most people have gone now, and what we have done, which meets all the legalities, is running through the Wilson Center. The Wilson Center takes the bids, and so that then holds us harmless on that. There's not a chance of us messing it up because they do other intricate whenever you're getting bids for all kinds of different proposals, and so all that is run through the Wilson Center. The last few years, we've done all that through the Wilson Center. It also helps with the rates, the buying power, because they work then with the Central Indiana Education Center, the state of Indiana, and then there's a conglomerate of Midwestern states that all use some of the same bid. And so they take care of all that for us.
We're kind of like contracting with the Wilson Center to be our.
Yes, that's through the procurement process. And we do that. We tried to move all of our procurement through there. Part of it because the buying power is better. Part of it because they know the legal steps on all bidding processes.
Well, it simplifies the bidding process if you don't have to have an architect or an engineer to write everything.
So that's where we're going on that. Again, no votes or anything tonight. Just want to make sure everybody was on board with that.
Okay, the next item's number 12. Approve increase in student tutor pay from $7.50 an hour to $10 an hour. Last increase was in 2020 from $5 to $7.50 an hour.
And what this is mostly some during Success Center after school, and then some working with kids during breaks. Can't find kids to do it. They just say that $7.50 isn't appealing to them, and hopefully this will help get some assistance.
Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the tutor pay increase from $7.50 to $10.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 13, approve Janice Kirkham as an instructional assistant K through 6. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve Janice Kirkham as instructional assistant.
A second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 14, accept the resignation of Candy Cook as part-time cafeteria worker. Did I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Candy Cook as part-time cafeteria worker.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 15, approve Teresa Tracy Davis as a part-time cafeteria worker. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make the motion. We approve Tracy Davis as a part-time cafeteria worker.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Emma Simcoe as FFA volunteer. Could I have a motion and a second to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve Emma Simcoe as an FFA volunteer.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Jessica Thompson as a substitute teacher. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve Jessica Thompson as a substitute teacher.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Sydney Standiford as a substitute teacher pending background check and valid substitute permit. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve Sydney Standiford as a substitute teacher pending background check and valid substitute permit.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve FFA to attend the Indiana National Convention October 29th through the 31st at Indianapolis Convention Center in Indianapolis. Could I have a motion and a second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the FFA to attend the Indiana National Convention.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
It's all good.
If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Ag Science class to attend the North American Livestock Expo at Freedom Hall on Monday, November 10th to watch a dairy cattle show. Could I have a motion second to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Accept the resignation of Christina, sorry, can you talk tonight?
That's okay.
Christina Ordner as high school track coach. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Christina Ordner as high school track coach.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just want to thank Christina for doing that for several years. She was track coach for how many years, Ryan? Was she, Dr. Apple? Do you remember 5-6 years maybe?
Yeah, she took it over, I think, when I got here. So I think she did for 5 years.
Okay, so we appreciate her effort. That's a lot of work to do track. So
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Matthew Middleton as girls junior high basketball volunteer coach for 2025-2026. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve Matt Middleton as junior high girls volunteer coach for this season.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve the following fundraiser. High school boys basketball to sponsor a team store online. Lanesville Athletics to sell t-shirts. Library and Athletics to sell vintage items. And Feed the Eagles to raise funds for feeder athletic teams. Good.
I'll make a motion to approve all those fundraisers as read.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Number 24, approve Brooke McDaniel, Sophie Hill, McKenna Magner as substitute teacher pending background check and valid substitute permit. Could I have a motion and second to approve?
So
I'll make.
moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those, any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 25, additional public comments. I think Doug was the only one signed up.
I'm glad they're going to be online so everybody can see. The other thing that you addressed tonight, which I'm happy to hear, is the question I got when I was trying to fill the vacancy on the board was the chiller question. You know, spent our $262,000. So I hear the chiller situation is going to hopefully be resolved through the new contracts and so on and so forth. We can get that up to snuff. Couple items I have that are still concerning is last month I brought to the board policy 0131.1, which addresses bylaws and policies. And in conjunction with that, policy 0144.1, which deals with the board compensation. I was in hopes that I would see that on the agenda being addressed tonight, because the way I interpret and read it is that when you're making a change or an addendum to the policy or bylaws, it has to have a first reading, a second reading, and that certainly hasn't happened yet. So I'm hoping that the board will revisit those two policies and hopefully have a resolution there for the next meeting. The other thing I had concern about is I came to the public meeting when the solar panel representative was here, and if I understood him right, that he would do an analysis of the building, looking at controls, looking at lighting, looking at efficiencies in the building along with the solar panels. And they were going to do that, and maybe that we should look at that maybe before the solar panels, but obviously the solar panels are being put
It
on.
wasn't before the solar panels, it was for all of our other.
So has that analysis been
They're in
done?
Bedford now.
Do what?
They're working at Bedford now.
Okay, so they're coming here to do an evaluation of the building and what other efficiencies
That's
that
the way
we.
that I understand it.
Okay, good. The other thing was, I know we've addressed a lot of safety concerns with the film on the glass and the monitoring and all that, and I think that's super and great and very well needed. The other thing, though, the comment that was made last month is we can't build onto this building because this building is not sprinkled, implying that if we would go forth and build a new building, that building would have to be sprinkled. However, I still have safety concerns about the children in this building not being sprinkled. If this building would catch fire, Lanesville Volunteer Fire Department, God bless them, would not have the equipment or the manpower to put out a fire if this building caught on fire. So I think that we need to address that too, is making this building as safe as possible as we would make a new building as safe as possible from fire. So maybe that's something you guys can look into and investigate, because all children are important. Doesn't matter if they're in this building, that building, wherever they're at. If fire breaks out, we want to do our best to save our children. Brick and mortar can be replaced. Children can't. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other public comment? If not, could I have a motion and second to adjourn?
I'll make the motion, we adjourn the meeting for this evening.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.